Addis Ababa Fairy Tales and Bedtime Stories for Kids, The Wild Swans. Once upon a time, in a land far away, there lived a king with 11 sons and 1 daughter. When his wife passed away, after some time had passed, the king remarried, not knowing that the new queen was in fact an evil witch. She did not like the kids from the king's ex-wife. She always complained about them to the king and looked for ways to get them kicked out of the castle. The kids are rascals. The maids come complaining every day with something new. The new queen complained so much, soon after the king began to believe in these rumours. He first sent his daughter away to a farm not so far away. She was going to stay with a farmer's family until she was 15. Evil-hearted Queen wanted to send the boys away too. But because they were too small, the king did not approve. But she had forbidden them to leave their room. One night, the queen came to their room, and with just one spell, she turned them into 11 wild swans. She then opened the window and left the room. The boys, who were now wild swans, flew out the window. Years had passed, and the girl was now 15 years old. That same day, she returned to the castle. Whilst she was waiting to see her father, her stepmother, the queen, saw her. Seeing how beautiful she had become, the queen was so jealous and furious at the fact that the princess had returned to the castle. While waiting for her father to arrive back to the castle, as tired as she was, the princess fell asleep in her room. The queen entered her room and cast a spell on her. Suddenly, the princess's hair got really messy. Her face changed and was now somewhat darker. The king returned to the castle and was very happy finding out that his daughter had returned. He immediately went over to her room, but the girl sleeping in the room did not look like his daughter at all.
This is not my daughter. I order you to get her out of the castle immediately.
After this order, the king left the room. The king's guards woke the princess up and took her out of the castle. Whatever she said or did, she could not convince them to let her see the king. With no other option, the poor princess was on her way, crying.
I should at least find my brothers. If we were all together, no one can harm us.
When walking in the woods, the young girl met an old lady. She greeted her and asked,
Have you seen 11 young princes around here? I do, girl. I haven't seen 11 princes, but I have seen 11 wild swans every evening. They go right over there to the shore.
The young princess sadly left the old lady behind and went over to the shore. Around sunset, the 11 wild swans the old lady was talking about came by her side. Soon after the sun had set, the 11 wild swans turned into 11 handsome princes, leaving the princess stunned. The young girl recognized her brothers that instant and began running towards them. While she was running, she turned back into the beautiful princess she once was. And of course, her brothers recognized her instantly. With joy and happiness, they hugged each other. The evil queen's spell had worn off. It was the power of their family love. The 11 princes told the young princess their story. They could only be human at night, and after dawn every day, they turned into wild swans again. Since it was almost dawn, they decided to take her with them. They made a basket of reeds, sat her in it, and right when they were ready, the sun came up, and once again they all turned into wild swans. The wild swans held on from the side of the basket and began to fly. The young princess felt extremely happy flying with her brothers. It felt as if it were a dream. After a short while, she fell asleep. In her dream, she saw the fairy from the land of the clouds.
If you want your brothers to turn back to normal permanently, you have to make them jackets from stinging nettle. But until you make them all, you should not mention this to anyone. Otherwise, they will stay as wild swans forever.
After giving all the facts, the fairy vanished. The young princess did not say anything about her dream to her brothers. Her brothers left her on a land close by and flew away, promising to return soon. The princess began gathering stinging nettles for the jackets, but every time she touched the nettles, her hands would hurt and swell. But she did not care about the pain and continued to gather the nettles. Suddenly, she was spotted by a prince who was hunting. The prince was mesmerized by the beauty of the princess, and so he quickly made his way over to the princess to say hi.
Hello, beautiful lady. It's the first time I see you around here. Why are you gathering the stinging nettles with your bare hands?
Because she could not tell anyone about her plan, the princess could not answer.
I am the prince of this kingdom, and if you allow me, I would like to invite you to my castle.
The princess accepted the invite, thinking that she would be much safer in the castle, and so this way she could save her brothers faster. Spending her days in the castle, the princess secretly continued making the stinging nettle jackets for her brother. But one day, the prince's cousin saw the princess sewing clothes with the stinging nettles, and so he thought that she was a witch. He started rumors in the castle so that she would get arrested. At the beginning, the prince did not believe any of the rumors, but as time passed, he became suspicious. One night, he followed the princess going out of the castle into the woods, and when he saw her gathering stinging nettles...
So the rumors were true. If she wasn't a witch, why would she gather all these stinging nettles? She's obviously gathering them to cast a spell.
He immediately ordered his guards to take her and put her in the dungeon. Even in the dungeon, the young princess secretly continued to make the jackets. And finally, one day, she finished them all. The following day, they took the princess to the city center for her trial. She would be punished at the end of the trial here. But right when the judge was going to announce his decision, suddenly 11 white wild swans flew down from the sky next to her. Everyone was stunned, looking at the wild swans.
My brothers, you came! The jackets are under my skirt. Put them on this instant.
All her brothers wore their jackets that were under their sister's skirt. One by one, they all turned into human again. Unfortunately, only one of the jackets did not have enough stinging nettle for the arms. The youngest brother's arms remained as a wild swan's wing. after turning into human again, the princes began to explain all that happened to the judge and the people. They told them that their sister was innocent. The prince believed that the girl was not a sorcerer. He apologized to her. With the happiness of her brother's freedom, she forgave the prince. All together, they returned to the castle. The prince proposed to the young girl.
Will you marry me, my beautiful princess?
Yes, my prince, but first we must visit my father with my brothers.
This way, the 11 brothers went over to their father's castle. Their father was extremely happy and surprised to see them. The children began to tell their father all that had happened.
Hurry and catch the queen. Bring her to me.
After finding out about the kids, she knew she would get caught, so she secretly turned herself into a crow and flew away and never returned to the king's castle. The young princess said her farewells to her brothers and father and returned to the prince's country. They got married and lived happily ever after. The story of the Wild Swans about love and hope has been told from generation to generation.